All right, what is up, my fellow strays? How are we all doing today? Um, Today is Friday, the 28th of September, 28th of July, almost the end of July here, guys. Thank God, I'm done with the heat. I am ready for fall. I'm ready for colder weather. I hate heat. I have fallen way behind. Um, had a not non-serious medical procedure I had to do today. That was not fun. And it's been I just was a little anxious about that before for a couple days before that, and had a lot of other things show up. So we're back making a new video. Like I said, I'm way behind. Um, Obviously all the shit with LTG has gone on. I tried to make a little clip video of that where I clip some stuff together um without any kind of commentary from myself. It was my first time trying to do like a clip video. I don't know if people liked it or not. Took way too long because I'm still learning how to edit to that extent, I guess. And yeah, I'm gonna make another video where I actually react to the videos about that and all that myself. But I figured I would try to do the clip thing, or whatever you want, whatever you call it, like an heavily edited video, dude. But yeah, so I'm eventually going to do a video on that. After this video, I'm probably going to go over the whole garbage disposal thing, then the LTG whole mess, which I think is done now. I kind of wanted to do it right away, but I knew like there was going to be some more shit about it, so I kind of wanted to wait till that was all over so I can go through the whole thing with y'all. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, so this one here, I always shoot myself in the foot when I say it should be a short video because it never ends up being a short video. But I only plan on watching one video, so hopefully that's it. It's the pet visit with our buddy DSP and his child Jasper. So I wanted to do a quick video on this. Again, I know I'm behind, like always. Also, I apologize ahead of time if I'm a little burpy today. Had some stomach issues, so I do apologize. I try to mute my mic before that happens. But let's get started.
The one thing that I want to talk about is this vet visit, all right? I'm pretty upset. Let's explain what happened, all right? So, for the record, Jasper Kitty is not sick, all right? He's perfectly healthy. He has nothing wrong with him at all right now. He was going in for his yearly checkup, and he was going in to get his rabies vaccine follow-up, okay? Now, I don't know how the rabies vaccine works. That's up to the doctor to explain it to you, right? But I was under the understanding that he was going to probably need his rabies vaccine follow-up, but we had scheduled him just for a checkup, and we figured while we're there, we'll get everything done, right? So, here's the thing, all right? We've taken Jasper to this vet for 3 straight years. The first year, they were still at the end of COVID. So back then, everyone was still wearing masks here in Washington State, and you couldn't go in anywhere.
A lot of people still are wearing masks.
It's like everyone has to have a fucking hazmat suit on. So, oh my goodness, here's Jasper. Oh, sorry, sir, you can't go back there with him. We'll take him into our sterile room, and we'll examine him ourselves, and we'll tell you the findings. It was like, what the hell is this? Stupid COVID was so bad, and everyone was so afraid. Here in Washington was one of the worst.
Bad.
We were like some of the worst afraid states there were.
People actually
so you couldn't do anything, right? Now, the good news is last year, all right, all that was finally over with. No more masks.
Yep.
No more being afraid.
Is totally
so
done.
Last year, we took Jasper to the same vet in the summer.
Perpetrated by the Democrats.
We were allowed to go into the exam room with him.
All fake.
And here's the thing about Jasper, okay? Jasper Kitty absolutely hates being in the carrier. Whenever he's in that carrier, he's very upset and nervous. If he's in the car, he's panting and he's meowing. He's just afraid.
Jasper Kitty, I swear, like, should I go back? I'm gonna go back. I'm sorry about this. And 1 second. I wish I had a ticker thing, like I could tick a thing. We're just gonna do this. I'm gonna try to count how many times he says Jasper Kitty. Alright. I don't know yet on OBS how to like make a little word box here or any of that yet. I mean, I can maybe try. Hold on. No, it would have to be like open scene. It wouldn't be a scene just for that. So what would it be? Insert, transform, order, view. If this is fast, I'll do it, but if it's too complicated. Output timer. So we got display capture. Could I add anything to it, or would it have to be a whole new scene? Window capture? No. Text? I guess it would be text, right? Oh, that's big. I need to shrink this. All right. Text transform. No, it's fine. Whatever color. We don't need anything fancy. Let's have this on the bottom. Okay. And now I just need to change the size. I don't want it too big though either. I am sorry. I do apologize. Wait, so how would I edit or add it? Oh, I'd have to keep bringing it up just to do that? There's no easier way to... Sorry, I'm just learning really quick. Hold on. I guess I'll just have to keep this window open and do it that way, I guess. I do apologize. All right, so we have this little counter here. I think I'm doing it the right way. I have no idea. But we have our little counter. We have our little counter right here. So hopefully, if I keep this window up, it should be okay, and I'll try to keep a counter open then for y'all. Because I don't see a way to... Like, I don't see a way to do it without keep... Like, seem to have this... Oops. Why did that go away? Don't look at all my tabs. But I seem to have this window open in order to edit the thing. It won't let me edit it on the preview. Well, whatever. Let's continue. Let's actually start.
Outside of that, we did a few other things. It's neither here nor there. The one thing that I want to talk about is this vet visit. All right.
All right. I gotta move this to someplace we can see. We'll put it right here. Alrighty. I think I'm... Alright. Now explain. What did you just say, Phil? Did you say it already?
Want to talk about is this vet visit, all right? I'm pretty upset. Let's explain what happened, all right? So, for the record, Jasper Kitty is not sick, all right? He's perfectly healthy. He has nothing wrong with him at all right now. He was going in for his yearly checkup, and he was going in to get his rabies vaccine follow-up, okay? Now, I don't know how the rabies vaccine works. That's on the doctor to explain it to you, right? But I was under the understanding that he was going to probably need his rabies vaccine follow-up, but we had scheduled him just for a checkup, and we figured while we're there, we'll get everything done, right? So, here's the thing, all right?
Here's the thing.
We've taken Jasper to this vet for 3 straight years.
3 years.
The first year, they were still at the end of COVID. So back then,
wait, did he say it again? This is actually kind of hard to pay attention.
They were still at the end of COVID. So back then, everyone was still wearing masks
My
here in Washington
ADHD
State.
is like, wait.
You couldn't go in anywhere. It was like, oh, God. It's like everyone has to have a fucking hazmat suit on. So, oh, my goodness, here's Jasper. Oh, sorry, sir, you can't go back there with him. We'll take him into our sterile room and we'll examine him ourselves.
Examine him. This is only when it says Jasper Kitty, not Jasper, Jasper Kitty. So that was not
we'll tell you the findings. It was like, what the hell is this? Stupid COVID was so bad, and everyone was so afraid. Here in Washington was one of the worst. We were like some of the worst afraid states there were. So you couldn't do anything.
Afraid states.
Now, the good news is last year, all right, all that was finally over with. No more masks. No more being afraid.
Hallelujah.
So last year, we took Jasper to this same vet in the summer. We were allowed to go into the exam room with him. And here's the thing about Jasper, okay? Jasper Kitty
there it is.
absolutely hates being in the carrier. Whenever he's in that carrier, he's very upset and nervous. If he's in the car, he's panting and he's meowing. He's just afraid. He hates the carrier for some reason.
I think the majority of cats don't like to be confined to a very small spot. So I'm pretty sure most cats do not like being in cat carriers. Either that, or you're getting a cat carrier that's just too small for him. Which is probably the case. He probably got the cheapest ass one he could find that's probably too small for him. But I think most cats don't actually like being in those cat carriers.
I don't know why. I don't know if he had a traumatic experience in his past.
Traumatic experience, Phil, really?
When he's out of the carrier, he is perfectly fine. So to give you an example, last year, they allowed us into an exam room, so we opened the carrier. He comes out in the exam room. He's having a blast. He's crawling on the desk. He's jumping all around. He's having fun. He actually enjoyed his vet visit last year because, for the first time since COVID ended, you could go in the exam room. He was allowed to run around, have free reign. Had a great time, okay? And it was great. So I remember last year, the vet examined him, explained everything that the vet had found. They said he was a little bit on the overweight side. We need to cut down on his food, which we've done in the last year. All right, the good news is he lost some weight in this last year. And a few other observations, whatever. That was great.
Whatever.
And by the way, it was quick. Like, I remember last year, we basically waited in the waiting room maybe 10 minutes, got right into our room, our exam room. That was maybe like a 10-minute wait. Vet came in, exam, done. We were out within like 40 minutes. The whole visit was done. It was awesome, and we were on with our day, okay? So here's what happens this year. Okay?
I hate that fucking snake laugh,
I know,
man.
You already know what's going to happen.
You already
know it's going to be some fucking bullshit rigmarole.
It's bullshit.
Right? You ready for this?
Dude.
Okay. We show up early. We actually showed up 15 minutes early because we were hoping.
Alright, so already we're getting into problems here. Like, I don't have a cat. I don't know if a vet is any different from a human doctor. But I do, I'm a hypochondriac, so I tend to go to different doctors on the reg, right? Whatever, different appointments, especially, I'm trying to fix my teeth up, because my teeth are all fucked up, so I've been going to quite a few dentist appointments lately, stuff like that, alright? So it's like, I'm no stranger to doctor's office or dentist office or any kind of medical professional office, right? And they mostly state that they want you to show up 15 minutes beforehand regardless anyway. So like, you're supposed to show up early. That doesn't mean you're getting in early. That just means they want you to show up early so they can call you back if like they have an opening earlier, or to get all your paperwork done, to make sure you have insurance or to prepay for or pay your copay or whatever like that, right? That's why they want you to sign up. And they always have you. Sometimes they'll have you fill out paperwork, especially if it's a new place or not. Stuff like that. So just because you show up 15 minutes early doesn't mean you're getting in 15 minutes early. That just means you're doing the normal expected of you by showing up 15 minutes like you should.
That if we showed up early, maybe we could get in exactly when our appointment was, and we could get out early to do the rest of the stuff we needed to
Probably not going to happen.
do during the day because we had a very busy day planned. So, first of all...
Well, that's kind of your fault, though, for scheduling every goddamn thing to do on your day off. Phil, you get out of... You have, 2 or 3 hours between streams that you could run and do an errand or two before you come back. And then you get out of work, quote unquote, at 9, 10 o'clock your time? No, I think it's 10 o'clock his time. Some places are still open to do stuff. If you wanted to run down to a grocery store and grab something or get gas in your car, that kind of shit, or just take an extra day off then. No one's going to care.
We show up early, okay? And
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. This is what they tell us at the front desk. Oh, you're early? Well, we can't check you in until it's time for your appointment. What? Yeah, we're not allowed to check you in until it's time exactly for your appointment. So...
Alright, so keep this in mind. He was early, and they said they can't check him in yet until the exact time of the appointment. Which... I don't think I've ever run across. Usually in doctor's offices, because I do try to be, you should be 15 minutes early for your appointment, right? That's what you should do. That's the bare minimum kind of thing. You don't want to be late to your own appointment, so you show up 15 minutes early. They will, at the very least, check you in and put you in the system usually, so that they know you're there, ready.
You're just stuck. You came for no reason. Just sit here in the lobby.
They did not say that. Guaranteed they didn't fucking say that.
Great. Well, Jasper hates being in this carrier, and now he's...
That's your fault for not training him properly then, or getting him acclimated to the carrier.
Stuck in the carrier for extra time, because they don't care that we're there early. They just... Oh.
They're not obligated to take you in early just because you showed up early. They have other appointments, Phil. They schedule you at a specific time because they have other appointments before and after that time. Just because you're automatically showing up early doesn't guarantee you will be seen early. You do know that, right? And this is assuming he actually even had an appointment scheduled, which we'll get into because some people don't think he actually even had an appointment scheduled.
Oh, just wait. All right, fine.
All right,
so
fine.
We wait, and then when it's time for our appointment, we check in. Okay. We then wait in the lobby for about another 10 to 15 minutes. So apparently they weren't ready regardless. And then...
That can happen. Sometimes there's issues. And especially if there's only one actual vet. Because in a lot of smaller places, they'll have only one doctor, only one vet, and a bunch of nurses. So if there's only one professional vet there, that can happen if she's running late because they have other clients there than just this narcissist.
A tech comes out. And the tech comes out and says, oh, you were early. I swear to God, this is what the tech says. She goes, oh, you were early. Well, the vet is late. Still on lunch. Stutters her words, cuts herself off and changes what she was saying mid-sentence. Still at lunch. So obviously, the tech inadvertently admitted to us that the vet was late for work. Okay?
That does not mean that. Just because she's late doesn't mean she's late for work. She could just be late as in running behind from previous appointments. So if she's running late from having a previous appointment that ran a little long, then she could just be late from that. Correct?
So,
But no, you instantly assume she's
can't,
late ward,
so we can't get you in yet.
even though she probably had appointments beforehand that she had to take over. So probably not.
You have to wait in the lobby, and once the vet is back from lunch, we'll let you in. But our appointment is at this time, and the vet's not here?
Yeah, that happens, Phil. I've had this happen. It's not unnormal. They schedule you for appointment, and sometimes the damn doctor is the one running late. Yeah, especially when, like, with the medical industry, you never know what's going to happen. Something that looks like something simple could turn out to be something more complicated, especially if we're talking, like, human doctors, like, in an actual, like, doctor's office or whatever, you know? They run behind. It happens. You're not the only fucker there.
Okay, so what is going on? Now, in the meantime, other people are coming in with their pets. There was someone who came in with 2 chihuahuas. They were let in within 5 minutes into an exam room, and you could hear the doctor over there examining and dealing.
Okay, so maybe they had an early appointment than you did, and they were running a little bit late because they didn't come in early. So because they were scheduled before you, they were rushed in right away to get them done and out of there, you know? And like I said, if it's only one doctor, then yeah, she's probably running late because of them.
Dealing with the chihuahuas, having a great time in the room.
Oh,
Another person.
They're having a whole fucking party back there. I hear party music. I hear singing. I think I see some streamers and balloons. I even hear a piñata being smashed over there. They're having a fucking grand old time over there.
Person comes in with a cat and a carrier. They're allowed right into an exam room. It's only us that are stuck in this lobby waiting with Jasper and his carrier. Now, if you add up the time, it's been over a half an hour he's sitting here in his carrier in the lobby.
Oh,
and
no.
We're not even allowed in yet. So finally, you know, the tech is there. And I'm like,
did he say Jasper Kid again? God damn it. It's actually really kind of hard to focus enough on just one word to see if he actually said it or not, especially on a word that he says so fucking much. So, like, correct me in the comments if I did get the number wrong. I do apologize.
well,
I'm
how
not
long are
going
we gonna
back,
wait?
though.
What is going on? So it takes, all right, we're gonna take him in. The tech
And I've been to doctors where I'm scheduled at a certain time, and I do arrive 15 minutes early because that's what you're supposed to do, is arrive 15 minutes early, and you're waiting there forever. You see someone come in, they'll sit down, and they'll eventually get called before you get called. It happens. It's not a rarity. It's not that rare, Phil. And, like, sometimes it happens. Maybe they, like I said, they had an appointment before you, technically, but they were a little late showing up. That still doesn't mean you get to go first. They're trying to go by what's actually booked and what's actually scheduled. Because I felt that way before. I think everyone's had that, like, some instance in that in some doctor's room where it's like, you're sitting there waiting and everyone else gets called before your ass gets called, especially if they're, like, short-staffed or whatever. I mean, it happens.
takes Jasper in, but not us. What?
They probably looked at this, like, fucking greasy, nasty, unwashed guy, and they're like, well, we really don't want another case of swine flu or him infecting and getting everyone else sick. We're just gonna leave him out here and take the cat.
So now Jasper's in there by himself without us in the room, and we're not allowed to come in. Why not? The people with the chihuahuas are in the room. The woman with the other cat just went into the room. Why can't we go in? No, you stay in.
Maybe they're looking at the cat for signs of neglect or something. Maybe there's something they see that might tip them off that the cat is malnourished or being abused or not properly taken care of, and so they want to do a private investigation or something like that. Because they take one look at this motherfucker and they're like, yeah, he's probably not taking probably pretty good care of this cat. Let's just...
in the lobby. Okay? Alright. So they take Jasper in. 5 minutes.
Get your fucking hand out of my face.
I'm not kidding. I timed it. 5 minutes.
And we all know what 5 minutes to him is, because he'll say, I'll be right back in 5 minutes. I just gotta go pee. And then like 12, 15 minutes later, he comes back.
After 5 minutes, they take Jasper back out and hand it back to us in the carrier. And I'm like, did you do anything? Did you examine? Don't worry, the vet will be right with you. We wait another 20 minutes. So now Jasper has been in his carrier over an hour, and it's not even clear.
I think Jasper will live. I mean, it's probably a lot cleaner than living in your house. So.
If they examined him or not. We don't know what happened yet. Okay? So now we've been there an hour. Finally, a woman who they... Oh, I'm the vet. You should have seen this woman. All right? She comes out. First of all, everyone else that's working there has their like, nurse/tech garb on, so you can tell they work there. It says the name of the vet. This woman comes out in gray sweat clothes. It looks like she literally just came in off the street, maybe from jogging. I'm not sure. Her hair, you can literally tell she was late for work because her hair is dripping wet. You could tell what happened is she came in and just quickly brushed or combed her hair with water before she came out to the lobby. It literally had...
You said yourself you used to do that all the damn time, though, right, Phil? You're like, wow, I wouldn't just, like, I don't... Wait, what do you say? I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. He's like, no, I don't use product. I just get my comb wet and recomb my hair back. So if it gets a little messy, I'll just recomb my hair back. So she probably was just on lunch and decided to take like a quick jog on her lunch or whatever. And then she got a little sweaty, so she just got her hair wet and combed it back. Like, what's the big deal? And a lot of times doctors do wear different clothing than the nurse techs or whatever to differentiate themselves from the nurses. So again, this doesn't prove that she was late for work. She could have just gone on a jog on a break or something.
He had just been combed because it was wet as shit, right?
And so you do that too, because like how many fucking times does he slick his hair back? And he said he used to do that with water before. So, oh, but she can't do that, apparently? It's only him.
Not dressed for work. With wet hair.
Okay. You're never dressed for your job, so I don't know what the hell you're complaining about. Half the time he shows up in fucking Zelda PJs or shorts or some shit. So he's never dressed for his job either. So what the hell are you complaining about?
So, is that Jasper? Wait, what? You're the vet. Didn't you just examine him? Oh, is that Jasper? Okay.
No, the vet probably didn't examine him yet. That's the vet tech's job, Phil. The nurses, the vet techs, they take the patient in and do all the vitals and prep work. So it's like, we got to get your blood pressure. If Jasper is getting shots, like sometimes the vet tech will do them, sometimes the actual doctor will do them. But like for most prep work type stuff, like if you need an IV, if you need blood work done, blood pressure medication, temperature, heart rate, all this is all done by nurses. None of this is done by the actual doctor. You see the doctor for usually like 2 to 5 minutes, and they'll check out the results of all the vitals that the nurses took and be like, okay, so everything looks good, bye. That's usually what they fucking do.
So here's what we found. Okay? So here's what the vet says. First of all, well, has he ever had blood work? And I'm like, you work here. He's been here for 3 years. You don't know if he's had blood work yet.
You don't know if he has blood work. And you should know. That's supposedly your fucking child, Bill. You should be the one knowing if he had blood work done or not. It's your child. You've never had him. And the whole time you've owned this cat, you've never had blood work of him? Because he's probably had this damn cat since, what, 2018, 2019, probably? And you don't know?
So I said, no, he hasn't had blood work. He's never had a reason to have blood work. I never had a serious...
Oh, so he knows, he's just never had blood work. Okay. And the doctor or vet, like, they could probably have more than just one vet at this place. Was she the same vet that saw you last time you were there? or not. Because it's probably in the computer chart somewhere, sure. But if you never had blood work from this particular vet clinic at all, it's probably not going to be in the chart. And like I said, if she had met like a different doctor before,
previous illness or whatever, so you know he never had that. You know, so he's here for his exam and his rabies vaccine, right? So they said, okay, well, you know, we think you should have blood work. Why? Well, you know, it's a routine thing for these cats. Every few years they should have blood work. It's a way to check for diseases. It's a way to check for this or that. I'm like, all right, so
before he gets into that shit, why should he have blood work done? To keep your cat healthy, you piece of shit? It's preventative healthcare. If they take blood work, they can ensure he's doing fine and not like developing feline leukemia or some shit. Or some other fucking disease that cats get. There's a lot of diseases cats can get. And if they never do any blood work whatsoever, then yeah, they're not gonna know. And if Jasper is actually sick or gets sick, it might be too late by the time he actually starts showing symptoms. And something could have been avoided if you actually had blood work done, you cheap piece of shit. And listen to what he's about to say. He's about to say, well, let's get down to business. How much is this gonna cost? What do you think a doctor or even a vet's first thought is when a patient in a medical thing that's like when you're trying to help the patient and the patient's guardian who's like, well, wait a second now, how much is this gonna cost? Because clearly he doesn't want to spend any fucking money on this cat that's supposedly his fucking son or whatever, right? He cares about this fucking cat so much. But he really doesn't. It's all just for appearances and fucking cat's sake, whatever. And that's it.
So let's be real here. Let's talk cost. What do I owe you now? And what am I going to owe you if we have blood work? Okay? So he goes, well, for the exam and the rabies vaccine today, it's $109. Okay? But if we do the blood work, it's $450. What? And I was like, $450? But there's nothing wrong with him. Why do I want...
Fucking asshole. It's to help prevent your son from getting fucking sick, you piece of shit. And if considering like there's some question on whether he has pet insurance on Jasper or not, because if you go back and listen and find like some videos, which I don't have the energy to actually bother looking up right now, but other detractors have done so. Like he mentioned something about his parents buying pet insurance for Jasper, right? So it's like, well, if his parents bought pet insurance for Jasper, is it still good? Because if it is still good, then why the fuck are you bitching if you have insurance on the goddamn pet? And I think other people looked it up, and that's a normal price for blood work done on a cat. If you're running the entire gambit of what to look for in like as the preventative blood work type thing done, especially if Jasper hasn't had any blood work done in a very long time, then they're going to run the entire gambit, and that's roughly about how much it normally would cost. Yeah. But this motherfucker doesn't give a shit because he's like, oh no, why would it need blood work done? I don't get that.
I need to do $350 blood test, right? But this vet is actually like hard selling me on getting this blood test. Like he's not sick.
Oh my god. She's hard selling you on the blood test because she took an oath to try to help and protect every fucking animal she comes across, including your animal. But it's clear she cares more about Jasper's health than you fucking do. And you should probably have like pet protective service or whatever come and be called on your goddamn cat. You piece of shit. You don't deserve to be a a cat daddy or dog, whatever the fuck it is, pet parent at this point. Like, what the fuck, Phil? He's not sick. No, but he could get sick very soon. You weren't sick like a few days before you had those ear infections, and then you were bitching and whining and posting pathetic fucking pictures on your Instagram. You lying on your side saying, "Oh, my ear hurts." Well, you weren't sick before that, huh? Just like Jasper isn't sick now, but he could get sick in the future, and you would be able to find it earlier if there is something seriously wrong with Jasper, and you get blood work and it shows that in the earlier stages, you would have a better chance of saving Jasper's life in the long run by catching it early and nipping it in the bud. But no, he doesn't give a shit about that. He's like, no, he's so retroactive responsive, right? Like, if something bad happens, then I will panic. Then I will jump on it. Then I might do something. But up until then, he won't do a damn thing. He's not preventative at all. He doesn't know the fucking meaning of the word preventative. His house is literally falling apart around him. And he doesn't give a shit. Because he's like, well, it's still the shower downstairs still works, so we'll just use that one. Oh, well, the garbage disposal still kind of works. Oh, we'll have to get it replaced. Oh, that one broke too. Maybe I'm doing something wrong? No. He won't, oh, the roof looks like it's caving in a little bit. We'll just leave it. And then eventually a hole will form because the fucking roof caved in a spot. And then he'll try to, get someone to repair it after the fact, instead of preventing it from happening in the first place by first noticing any signs that something might be wrong with it and fixing it that way. No, he doesn't ever do that, does he? Of course
not. And she kept pushing it. She's like, no, really, I'm telling you, I'm recommending you should do. I was like, we're not doing the blood test, all right?
So, I'm kind of a professional veterinarian. It is my educated medical knowledge that you should probably get your fucking pet's goddamn blood work, because as far as I know, he's never had blood work before in his life. No, it's too much money. I can't afford that. Fuck that cat. It can die for all I care. I'll wait for something to actually go wrong, and by that point in time, it'll be too late to do anything about it. Because I don't actually care about preventative maintenance on anything. I don't even believe in that word. What is preventative maintenance? You just keep doing the same shit you always do until something fucking breaks or goes wrong and forces you to divert. And by that point in time, it's far too fucking late to do anything about it.
This is ridiculous. We're not doing this blood test.
It's ridiculous to keep my cat healthy. Phil, I have I have a full blood work gambit test done every year just to make sure everything is working normally. When I go to my yearly checkup, I always have a blood work done just to make sure everything's looking fine. Because that's a big fly. Because diabetes runs in my family, as well as a few other more nastier things, and I want to keep an eye on it. So I get blood work every goddamn year just to make sure everything's okay. And that's kind of the point. It doesn't have to be every year, but every other year, every 3 years or something, yeah, you should probably get blood work done, human or pet, just to make sure nothing bad is developing. And if there is something bad developing without any symptoms, you can catch it before anything bad, before it turns into anything far worse.
He came here for one thing. This is absolutely ridiculous. So, by the way, at this point, we don't even know if he received his vaccine or anything.
Because you didn't ask the vet tech who brought the cat out, so that's on you.
This vet told us nothing. So the vet says, all right, well, I'll be back. And goes into the back and disappears, I shit you not, for another 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Because she had other patients to work on, and you were ignoring her advice, right? So if you're not going to listen to her advice, there's no point in her sticking around with your dumbass when she has actual other patients to work on who are willing to listen to her. So yeah, she's going to go off and do other work, or other patients' work, because they're actually going to fucking listen to her and not ignore every fucking thing she says, dumbass.
And then comes back again. Well, never comes back. We never saw the vet again. If that even was the vet. I don't know. There was no...
If she said she was a vet, she was probably a fucking vet, dumbass. And if everyone else in the clinic is treating her like the vet, that was the vet.
Something on the person to say they were the vet. Okay? Finally, the vet tech comes out again. So now we've been here almost 90...
But, okay, sure, say he's right. You let a total fucking stranger come up, lie to you, and pretend that they be the vet, and you're not asking for any credentials, you're not verifying for yourself, hey, you're the vet, right? Or maybe like, oh, I just didn't know because you weren't wearing the uniform. And then she probably would have told you why she wasn't wearing it or something, and you would have got your fucking answer right there. But you don't like being talkative. You don't like talking to people at all. You don't know how to socially interact with fucking people, Phil.
30 minutes, Jasper's been in this carrier, and he's very upset. He hates being in the carrier.
Well, apparently you don't care about his health, so why are you worrying about him being in the carrier or not? If you care about him, you would have had blood work done on him. End of story.
And he's been in here for 90 minutes. By the way, we weren't allowed into the room. If he even saw a room, I don't even fucking know.
What, they're just gonna take your cat in the back and set him down and not do anything? What fucking sense does that make?
Right? I have no clue. And, you know, what you want to talk about a night and day experience. Last year, they're nice, they're kind. Within 20 minutes, we're in an exam room. Jasper's out of the character. He's out of the carrier. He's playing. He's enjoying himself. He's having a good time, right? He gets his vaccine, which is quick. We're out of there within 40 minutes. We're 90 minutes into yesterday's visit.
Oh no, they're slightly more busy on this day than they were last year. And this comes back to the fact where it's like, did you actually have an appointment, Phil? Or did you just kind of walk in to a walk-in appointment, come in like a little bit earlier than normal, and hope they would instantly fucking see you? You're not that fucking stupid, are you? Like, you did actually have an appointment set up. And even if you did, that doesn't guarantee that they're actually going to see you exactly on this fucking right time. It's a doctor's office. It's a vet's office. They have other fucking patients to work on. There's no guarantee that they're going to see you immediately. This is what's like... And he was freaking out. Like, remember when he was freaking out with the whole fucking Panda Lee hospital emergency room situation? Like, why is it taking so long? It's like, it's clear you've never actually been in a fucking emergency room or in hospital or even a doctor's office at that point, because it's like, you should know this shit before. If you've ever been in a doctor's office, especially if you've ever been in an emergency room, how fucking long it takes to be seen. Because in an emergency room, there are actual emergencies going on. So if you're not a high rate, extreme situation where your life is literally on the line, and you just go in there because you're fucking like Amber Lynn Reed or something, and I twisted my ankle and I fell again, so I have a dangling ankle, then you're probably going to be waiting in there for a while, because people could be dying, and they're got to fix those people up first.
And we don't even know what's happened yet. Jesus. I was ready to walk out. Kat was very upset. She's like, I want to get out of here. This is absolutely ridiculous. I said, if they don't come within 5 more minutes, we're leaving. And then they could figure out how to bill us. Because I've had enough of this. This is fucking ridiculous.
They got your information on file. They could have just charged your card.
Right?
How we're being treated.
So, finally, the vet tech comes out again.
Being treated like a normal fucking
says, all right, we're all set. I said, what do you mean you're all set? Well, we're ready to go. What do you mean you're ready to go? Did he get his vaccine? Oh, yeah. When we brought him back before, we examined him, we got him his vaccine. He's good to go. You didn't tell us. You never even, we've been sitting here an hour and a half. You never even told us.
You didn't ask, first of all. Second of all, you still had to wait for the vet. And third of all, they probably had to finish up all that paperwork. Because he's going to say they gave him a bunch of paperwork. So it's not like he could have just fucking left he could have, but it's not like he could have just left the vet after seeing the actual vet doctor. He couldn't have just left the vet because you got to do the whole checkout thing, and they were probably in the process of printing off all that paperwork shit that he needed to read because he wasn't fucking willing to talk to the vet. He wasn't fucking willing to ask any questions whatsoever. And on top of that, like, I don't know how, like, I don't have a pet anymore. Like, I know when I was younger, our family had, like, some dogs and cats. So I don't know how it is nowadays. But I think usually when animals get a checkup, they take the animal out of the carrier to do the checkup. Especially for shots, because they gotta hold the cat down and inject the cat in a certain specific spot, usually, like, I think near his neck, the bottom of their necks or something. So they can't do that if the cat is in the carrier. So I almost guarantee you that Jasper was released from the carrier in the clinic room, one of the rooms in the clinic, to have the checkup, because they got to feel around his stomach, his heart, all that shit, to do a normal checkup, right? And especially to give him the vaccine, they're not going to do that while he's still inside the fucking carrier. Are you fucking stupid? So of course they're going to take him out of it. So he was not in there for an hour and a half straight. He was out of his carrier for, at least, according to him, it was only 5 minutes, but it probably was longer than that. But he was at least out of his carrier for a bit. So no, like, they didn't just leave him in there into the entire freaking time. And considering how irate and angry he's sounding now, he was probably coming off very standoffish to the people in the vet then. So they don't want to fucking talk to him. They're like, just get this asshole out of here, and here's your fucking paperwork, and you can look through it yourself, since you obviously don't give a shit about your cat that much, because you're not willing to fucking do any preventative maintenance on the cat.
That you did that, right? So I go up to the front, and I pay for the exam of the vaccine, and they give me that tag that says that he's been vaccinated or whatever. And they hand me a ton of paperwork. Now, I don't know what any of this paperwork is, okay?
Because I can't read.
I wouldn't know until I have a chance to read it. And I said, we got Jasper home. We had a ton of shit to do. We had to go grocery shopping.
That's not the vet's fault. You do realize that is your fault. Because you save every fucking thing for the last second for your only goddamn day off. So you try to squish all this chores, all this work, everything you try to fit into one goddamn day off. That is your fault. That's not the vet's fault that you are too stupid and put everything that you needed to do in that one day. They got to take as long as they have to take to do a proper checkup for the cat, give him vaccinations, and recommend to your dumbass what their medical knowledge states should be care should be given to the cat, the pet. And it's up to you to refuse that or not, unfortunately. But honestly, that's just animal abuse right there, if you ask me.
To do a ton of stuff.
But that's not the vet's fault that you had all this shit to do and you were in such a big hurry. That's on you. That's not on them.
All right?
Why am I yelling?
I come home, and it's time. Let's read the paperwork. It's like 8, 9 p.m. now, right? So I start reading the paperwork. And on the paperwork, all of a sudden, it says all this shit on the paperwork that this vet never told us about. All right?
Because the vet was probably pissed off that you're ignoring her medical suggestions on what should happen with the cat. she is giving you her recommendations based on years and years of medical knowledge and study that she earned by going to college. While you were drunk and partying your way through college and clearly never learned a goddamn thing from your own business degree that you claim to have, but you sure as fuck didn't learn anything from it, she was actually studying and actually doing well. And if you have, it's like, I work in retail. I've talked to people like this. If they're being an asshole to you, you want to get them the fuck out of your face as soon as possible. If I have some Karen bitch who's complaining about this and this and this, and none of it I can really help her with, all I can really do is get her out of my face as soon as possible. Whether that's referring her to a manager or supervisor, or just saying, sorry, I can't do anything, and rushing her along. Because I don't want to have to deal with that person any longer than I have to. And I think that goes for all Karens, regardless of the job. Or dealing with Karens, regardless of the job, I mean. So yeah, she probably didn't want to talk to you, dumbass, since you were ignoring her sound medical advice. So she pushed you along as soon as possible. It's like, well, hopefully this dumbass fucking at least reads this paper. If he even can read, since he's ignoring all my advice. Just fucking get him out of here as soon as possible. Just throw some papers at him and get him out of here then. Because I have other shit to do from other clients who are willing to actually listen to me. That's probably the case.
Number one, it explains the whole vaccination process. It says, last year he got his first dose. This year's the booster. Now that he got the booster, he doesn't need a rabies vaccine for 3 more years. So we don't have to worry about getting him back to the vet for his vaccine next summer. It's taken care of.
We don't have to worry about taking him to a vet again for another 3 years. To hell with yearly checkups or any of that shit. No. We were only taking him to get his mandatory rabies vaccine that is required by the law, the state. So now we're not going to take him to the vet again for another 3 years unless something seriously is wrong with him. And then I'll bitch and complain the whole fucking time. I'm like, maybe if I had had that blood work done, I could have seen this was going to happen eventually and maybe prevented it from happening. But no.
Cool. We got 3 years to wait till 2026.
You see?
Did the vet tell us that? No.
He doesn't give a shit about this cat.
Another thing, and this really got
He doesn't care if he gets a checkup or not.
There's something on there that we absolutely should have known. The vet didn't tell us. It says, Jasper is starting to show early signs of a little bit of dental plaque. Now, it's early. What you can do is you can do, like dental treats. You buy cat dental treats and things, and it'll...
Now, it's early. You can actually solve the problem before it gets too bad. The same thing that you could do if you actually had blood work done and your fucking pet that you treat like a goddamn child. That you love like a child, supposedly.
Actually start cleaning their teeth nicely, and as long as you do it regularly, it should not be a problem at all. He should be good, all right? But it even says on there, some cats, it doesn't actually help, using the dental treats, and long term, they might need to get tooth cleanings, all right? So
and then you bitch about that and ignore.
The vet didn't fucking say that at all. Either. Now, after the vet appointment, during our day out, we went to the pet store and we actually bought Jasper things. We could have bought him the dental treats, but we didn't know we needed to get them because the vet didn't fucking say anything.
The vet didn't say anything because you were ignoring all her other advice. Why would you not ignore that advice that she was going to give you either? Again, she wanted to get you out of her hair as soon as possible since you weren't listening to anything she had to say.
Okay, so literally we went to the vet for an hour and a half. Jasper was seen for 5 minutes. And literally...
probably not 5 minutes, probably longer, considering this guy's view on time.
The vet told us none of the information that we should have known while we were there, and
She told you were supposed to get blood work done. That was a big thing.
Expected us to just figure it out later by reading this giant stack of fucking paperwork that they gave us to go home with.
Yeah.
Okay?
Almost like she didn't want to deal with you after that point.
After that, we got we are not going back
changed.
to this vet. And it's a shame because we actually had a great experience with this vet last year. We thought the vet was great. Now that COVID was over and you're able to go into the exam rooms with your pet again. We had a great time. He had a great time.
Yeah, exactly.
I have pictures
That's common
on my
sense
phone
to read the damn paperwork.
of Jasper
Usually has all
having
the
a
information.
blast at the vet last year. I'm not even kidding. Let's see if I can find it. Gonna go all the way back here.
So
Hold
again, something else he's willing to show us on camera, but he can't show us his username in WWE Champions, though.
Almost. It's Christmas.
Really? You're
Here it
doing
is.
this live on a supposedly podcast?
Here's Jasper at the vet last year.
On his
when they let
old-
him into the exam room, and he was chilling on the counter. He's having fun. He had a great time.
On his
You
old
know, not
ass
in the carrier
iPhone
the whole
6?
time. That was August of 2022. This year, it's like a completely different fucking place. Like, you know, what happens to these places? How is it that in a year they completely change their entire
Sometimes
process?
they get
Why
busy.
did everyone else around us get to go into a room with their pet, but not us? Why were we rushed in and out for 5
Probably because maybe they saw signs that you were neglecting your damn cat. Maybe there were signs of that. So they knew something was fucking up. So they had to take the cat in to double check to make sure there's no signs of abuse going on. Maybe they didn't want your greasy, ugly ass back there, possibly spreading illness and infection everywhere.
minute exam, but kept there for 90
Maybe
minutes?
because you were fucking caring and bitch and not.
Why was
taking
the vet late? Because that's
their
the
advice.
truth. But the problem is, I think, here's what I really think happened. The vet is basically, we got the worst vet in the place, right? They were already late for work. So we had to wait extra just for the vet to show up.
And again, what I always say is that, like, every opinion he has is fucking wrong. The opposite of every opinion he has is usually the right one. Because he's just, like, comes to the worst possible conclusions in his mind. Not the worst possible, but, like, the worst takes of anyone I've ever seen.
Then when they showed up, it was a rush job. Oh, he's just here for his yearly exam. All right, get him in quick. Let's do this fast. Okay, we're done. On to the next. Well, they're still here. Oh, shit, I got to go out there and talk to them. Oh, man. Oh, now I got to do my hair.
Yes, that's what
It
happened.
runs out in the sweat clothes. Hey, everyone. So just so you know, by the way, let's upsell on a $300 blood test. And let's try to scam the fucking poor people out of $300 that we definitely don't need to spend, but they're being idiots about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I made like no money on this visit today.
Are you fucking serious? Not every business and every single person is like you. They get paid regardless just for you stepping foot in that goddamn vet center. They have plenty of other clients. You're not like the richest motherfucking client in there. Why would they choose only you to grift? This makes no fucking sense, Phil. None. Okay? Oh my god. They already got your money. They got paid just for, like, for the checkup and the rabies booster vaccine or whatever it is. That's their payment already. So why would they try to scam you out of more money? They're legitimately trying to help your cat. She took a Hippocratic oath to help every animal she comes in contact with. But if the fucking owner doesn't care about the vets, then there's nothing they can do. That's why she was trying to push it, because she actually cares about animals, unlike you.
Okay, so let's try to upsell them to make profit, right? It's exactly what it was.
No,
A
it wasn't.
$300 fucking blood test. You know? Like, are you out of your mind? So, we're not going back. We're done. You know? And
Probably for the best.
it's sad because, like I said, last year it was completely different. I felt like it was a great vet a year ago. And then somehow this all changed. You know, in the last year, and now it's a completely different business. Like, I would never go back there after that. That was such a horrible
I
experience.
don't think they want your
Right?
business after
So-
that, Phil.
Yeah, so that's it. So anyway, that was our
Yeah,
experience. It sucked because,
blah.
you know, this is something that we were hoping would be under an hour.
Hoping.
All in all, with that taking so long and the driving, it was over 2 hours out of our day, and now we were way behind. So we didn't actually get to do
That's your fault. That's not the vet's fault.
everything that we were supposed to do or wanted to do.
Again,
yesterday.
that's
You know,
your
we got
fault.
Maybe half the stuff. that we
You when
wanted-
you poorly planned your day off and had all this shit that you had to do and tried to fit it all into one fucking day. You should know doctors' offices and vet offices can run very late. They can run on time. It all depends on how busy they are, Phil. And you should know that.
wanted to do. We had a lot of things lined up, and we're like, well, we're too tired. We don't have time to do it. What are you going to do, right? So it is what it is. You know, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that that's how we were treated after having such a great experience last year. Out here, there's a lot of competition for pet healthcare. There's a ton of vets. There's a ton of these places. So why they think they're going to do well in an environment when you have direct competition?
I could have done better. He's over here judging their business practices when he himself has like the worst business practices of anyone who has ever owned their business, bar none. Bar none. He gives nothing to his paying clients of value. There's nothing of value, and he's constantly berating and shit-talking his own customers. He always tries to refer this to some bullshit restaurant reference, or it's like, well, if I had a brick and mortar Italian restaurant, I'm like, but you fucking don't. And even if you did, you would fail at that because of the way you treat your fucking clients, your customers. You treat your customers like utter shit. And he's over here thinking they're gonna go out of business just because this fucking asshole is changing to a different company or vet. It's like when I'm at work and like I get some asshole Karen or something, and I'm always nice. I never treat anyone like an asshole, even if they're being like screaming at you, because you're not really supposed to speak back to them, and I don't. But like they like if they hear like I'll like if they're super angry, I'll refer them to a manager or a supervisor, and 9 times out of 10, what they're asking for isn't in the policy and something we can't do. Like, oh well, the other I had a different cashier and she let me do that. I don't care. I still need to see your ID for alcohol. It's against the law. I literally need to see your ID or I can't sell you alcohol. But I look over 21. I don't care how old you look. I still need to see some ID. Right? And then they'll complain to the supervisor, the manager, and they'll usually back us up and be like, no, sorry, it's our policy. We need to see ID. Then they get all pissy because they can't get their way. And they'll be like, well, I'm never shopping here again. This is an outrage. I'm gonna form a boycott on Facebook. I'm like, go right a fucking head. Because guess what? Like, our company can survive without you as a customer. It really can. Even if you manage to convince 3 or 4 or however many of your friends to not shop there again because they have the audacity to follow New York state law or some bullshit, like, we're still gonna be fucking fine. We really are. You're not gonna hurt us by buying your food somewhere else. You know, it really does not matter whatsoever to us. The company is making profits like crazy. It's totally fine. We're not going anywhere just because some assholes get mad at us and decide to take their business elsewhere. The company will be around for a long time. Your vet's gonna be around. The vet that you're ditching will be fine. He'll be around for a while. Okay, Phil? Just because Philip Burnell, the king of hates, is changing his vet to a different vet does not mean they're gonna go downhill immediately. Just because he had some misconceived perception of being treated poorly when really you weren't. You were treated like every other customer there, and you were just ignoring doctor's advice, basically. That's all it is, Phil. They're gonna be perfectly fucking fine.
Competition literally right around the corner, I don't get. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward. Hopefully,
everyone needs a doctor. Everyone needs a vet.
The ex-Mata says, do you ever thought to ask them why the visit went like that? Yeah, it's called customer feedback, which you're supposed to give after your visit. Oh, we're going to give it to them. Don't get me wrong. There's no we're going to give them the feedback that they deserve.
Phil is one of those people that thinks like reviewing, like I get the feeling that Phil is one of those people that are like on Yelp all day on these like rating app things for businesses all day, every day kind of thing. Like in his spare time, he's like writing like a 1 or 2 star review for like a 1 is. Hold on 1 second. All right, I think I got it all set up now. So you know who Phil reminds me of? You want to see who Phil reminds me of? We're just gonna leave this here because Phil's fucking bubble bass at this point. He's those fucking asshole, rude ass customers who like, and he's over here thinking that he's hot shit. Oh, I'm gonna leave a fucking blazing review on their website. Oh, and they're gonna get that vet or that customer or that employee fired. Oh, I can't wait. Like, as someone who works in retail and customer service, I gotta tell you, most of the time, your reviews or your complaints about employees mostly just gets ignored and laughed at. It doesn't do shit. Like, unless an employee just outright like comes out and like physically or verbally assaults someone, most of the time your complaint's not really gonna do much and be ignored. Basically, it's not gonna accomplish a whole lot. I'm just saying, you know? So I'm gonna leave this here for the remainder of the fucking the rest of this little video here, and we're gonna finish up. Because that's who fucking Phil is right now.
And they're gonna understand why we're not ever going there ever again after being treated like that, you know? The point is, it doesn't matter why. The fact that it happened is bad enough. I don't care. Oh, it was an extenuating circumstance. Well, I don't want to be your extenuating circumstance. I want to go somewhere where I'm treated like everyone else. Not that we're the ones sitting in the waiting room for 90 minutes.
I want to be treated like I want to be treated better than anyone else. That's basically what he's fucking saying.
To a room, and we just sit here with our cat and our carrier for that time, and you don't do anything, and you want to upsell me on a $350 blood test.
Facility is gonna really change things around here. So, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's that. And
he's rocking,
you know, they'll get our feedback, and it is what it is. It sucked. It sucks to even have to talk about it, but you know, something to vent about, something to tell you want to know about what happened on my day off. That's what happened on my day off. Okay. All right. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about the schedule. Okay.
Let's talk about the schedule, dude.
So, someone literally said the entitlement. Wow, you're a fucking idiot. You think that a consumer be asking to be treated like all the other consumers in the same business?
That's not what you're asking, Phil.
You're getting the money, you're getting what they pay for, getting a good experience, especially when there's competition in the area. You think that's entitlement. No, you're an asshole.
Getting what they paid for? You got what you paid for, Phil. You got a checkup and you got the rabies vaccine. That's what you fucking paid for. That's what you got. You got the same equal treatment everyone else they got. Oh, we didn't get to go in with our cat. Who cares? They were in and out in 5 seconds. Maybe the other animals there had more intensive exams to do. Or were more like, maybe they were putting those dogs down. You don't know. Like, maybe those dogs, like, were sick and had to go down or something. Or had a more serious issue going on and they couldn't be left alone. And Jasper was in and out in like 5 minutes anyway, supposedly 5 minutes. You got what you paid for, and you're acting like an entitled, like, this is fucking first class, first world problems right here, let me tell you. The entitlement he is having right now.
You're a complete idiot. Go fuck yourself. I mean, it's a pretty dumb statement, don't you think? That's like you say, you go into a restaurant, a table of 4, you all order the same deal, 3 of you get your food at the same time, and it's all great.
His fucking analogy of the restaurant over and over again, which is not equal to this situation whatsoever anyway.
Quality, you have to wait an extra half hour to get your food, and when the food comes out, it's all fucked up, and then they want to charge you more for it than everybody else.
No, I guess in this situation, yeah. So in this situation, if we're using the restaurant analogy, the restaurant analogy here, this would be equate to you ordering a hamburger, and you get a hamburger, but it's like fucking raw, not even cooked hamburger, right? And the chef or the server is like, please, sir, please let me cook this burger for you. It might be a couple bucks extra, but I guarantee it's going to taste better and give you a better experience with this burger. You're going to love this burger a hell of a lot more if it's actually cooked than this raw slab of red meat here. No, I don't want to get paid extra upcharge. I'll just stick with the raw burger and save money doing this because I don't care about my health. I'm just going to eat this raw burger instead. Sir, I highly recommend you get that cooked. That is my, as a chef's, expert opinion on the situation. No, I refuse to pay extra just to have it cooked. All right, that's fine. You can have it. So he eats it, and then he complains that it tastes like shit, and he complains that everyone else got all this fancy, amazing tasting food that tasted great. How come my food didn't taste great? Because you were not willing to pay the extra money for the same optimum enjoyment of the item that you ordered. So everyone else got their money's worth, and you didn't get the money's worth because you wanted to save money and be a stingy little bitch. That's what the analogy would be if this was a restaurant. Not that everyone ordered the same thing and everyone got everything else and you got screwed, because you really didn't get screwed. I really don't know what the fuck you're expecting. Do you want to like just walk in there and have them bow down to you? Oh my god, it's Lord Phil. He is back. Let me kiss your balding head, sir. Let me take Jasper Kitty and free him from this cage. And we get a perfect pillow of satin here for him to sit upon. Follow us as we whisk him to the suites. The pet suite over here that has cat toys and cat trees galore. It's a cat's playground. So you can be in there for 5 minutes while we check for a cat, give your cat a checkup. So you can come back and still have to wait anyway, because the vet is currently seeing other patients, so you still have to wait. You got the exact same quality and service that all the other clients and patients got. Your problem is, you think that just because you showed up 15 minutes early to your appointment, that should guarantee that you're seen 15 minutes early, and that should guarantee you a quick vet visit. And that's not the case. Like, most of these places usually only have 1 or 2 vets. And if it's a crowded day or a busy day, they have a lot of patients. You can't just cut to the front of the fucking line, because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to cut to the front of the line, and just because he came early, he thinks he should be seen above other people, when these other people who showed up after him probably had appointments scheduled before him, right? So just because he shows up early, but his appointment is not, like, I forget what time he said his appointment was actually at, but suppose he has an appointment scheduled at 1:30, right? If you have an appointment scheduled at 1:30, just because you show up at 1:15 or 1 o'clock doesn't mean you're going to get seen earlier. You're still going to be seen at 1:30. When your appointment is scheduled, that's usually when you're seen. It's nice to arrive early in case you have to, like, fill out any kind of paperwork or anything, but you're not going to be seen extra early just because of that. So he shows up at 1:15, his appointment's at 1:30, and you got these other people coming in between 1:15 to 1:25, and they probably had appointments scheduled at 1:15 or 1:25, or maybe even 1 o'clock, and they were running a little late, but because they were scheduled before him, means they still have to be seen before you, Phil. That's how it works. You don't get to cut in line just because you got there a little bit early. That's not how it works. You're being a super fucking Karen right now.
But if you complain, that's entitlement. Wow.
It
You people on
depends
the internet are real smart when you say shit like that, right?
It depends on what you did and for what's your story.
Oh, and by the way, one other thing I should say, you could get something called pet insurance. That also is pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
And for, a little bit a month, basically what they do is they cost up to a certain level of medical cost, etc. And we
See, I told you he had freaking pet insurance.
have that for him. So, a few bucks a month, if something goes horribly wrong and we have to end up paying thousands of dollars in medical bills, the insurance will cover up to a certain amount. We'll cover the whole thing, of course not. But as long as you can prove that it was some kind of a weird circumstance that happened, the pet insurance will usually cover.
Which blood work would be covered under that.
And that way you don't have insane amounts of cost out of nowhere that you can't afford. And I'll be very honest here as well. My parents are pet lovers. They're cat lovers. They have multiple cats. And, talking with them when we got Jasper, they said, yeah, more than likely if anything went horribly wrong, they would be able to help out a little bit. Don't worry about, oh, God, if something happens, now you can't afford it or something like that. They would be able to, at least do a little bit to help out. So there you go.
Womp womp.
I gotta call a plumber.
Oh,
what else?
Nope, we don't want to do that yet. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I can't believe I made a fucking 20-minute video last an hour and 20 minutes almost. Jesus Christ. Phil, you're a piece of fucking shit. You really don't care about Jasper. You don't really care if he lives or dies, clearly. You're just kind of doing it and to show a good faith to Kat and to your audience, really, is what it seems like, anyway. Not even willing to get him fucking blood work to do any preventative maintenance. And you're basically just a fucking whiny-ass little bitch Karen. Like always, every time anything goes wrong, he just complains. And like I said before, I guarantee you he's on these review sites. He's like, how do we do? Give us a rating here. And you're like, actually, this appointment I had was awful. I'm never coming to you guys again. Be prepared to close down because you lost all my business. He's that kind of bitch. Guaranteed he is. But that's the end of the video for today. I hope you did actually enjoy it. I apologize for getting a little heated there, I guess. I wasn't really expecting to. And I'll see you for the next one, whatever that is. Peace.